A gracious good day to one and all once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico. Back with you all once again for episode number 158 of Emperor Norton's fantastic history vlog. Today is October 22nd, 2020. It is our 220th day under COVID-19 restrictions, which are lifting somewhat here in San Francisco next week. We are moving to the yellow tier. We're the first major metropolitan area, to the best of my knowledge, that has. Why? We were compliant. We wore our masks. We stayed inside. We washed our hands. We did all the things, most of us, not everybody, but most of us here in the seat of our empire, did the things that were necessary to slow the progress of this virus. The nation, the world, could learn from San Francisco's example. That's not going to sit well with some people. Programming notes. We're going to do the vlog today and tomorrow, and then the special weekend edition with the Countess. Then we will be off for a week. We have some imperial business to attend to. But when we come back that first weekend in November, we will be starting the new format for this vlog and podcast. It'll be once a week. It'll be similar to what we did yesterday in being an almanac covering a number of days. Now, yesterday we covered 5 days. We'll be covering 7. Instead of looking back, we're going to look forward into the future. We feel that information will assist you much more in knowing what happened and what to celebrate that's coming up instead of what already happened the previous week, or that particular day. So we're going to try to make the program shorter than it was yesterday, 46 minutes, or I think it was 42, way too long. So we may cut down on the number of San Francisco stories, go into less detail. Also, we are thinking about getting rid of the national days and our Florida man stories. So let us know what you think about that. For those of you watching on the YouTube, leave your comments below. We don't get enough comments. Most of them are from, adult-oriented businesses trying to get some business their way. We don't like that. We report them and delete them. If you are on the podcast, if you have the ability to leave a comment, please do. But better, for all of you actually, email emperornortontour@gmail.com with your suggestions, comments, whatever. We'd like to hear from you all. Well, let's begin with our national days. October 22nd is International Stuttering Awareness Day. We're not going to make a joke about that. People should not feel embarrassed by stuttering. After all, our presidential candidate Joe Biden overcame stuttering, and that wonderful moment he had with that kid, and I believe it was the Democratic Convention. That was very empowering. So don't make fun of stutterers. National Nut Day. Some would say that applies to us. Some would say not. We'll leave that up to you. Smart is Cool Day. We look forward to the day when smart is cool again, instead of dismissing people who are smart and have done the work and have gotten the education and are experts on their particular subjects. Hello. Well, don't get me started. And it is International Caps Lock Day. Didn't know any other way to do that, really. Was there? I don't know. For our Florida Man segment today, it's a fairly typical one. Florida man accused of having sex with frozen toy at Target. Now, it was not a frozen toy. It was a toy from the Disney movie Frozen. Just to be clear on that. That would have hurt, I guess. It was actually frozen. For our San Francisco segment today, we rely on John Ralston's wonderful book, This Date in San Francisco, because it was on October 22nd, 1893, that the Call newspaper sponsors a young person's writing contest. On Sunday, October 22nd, 1893, the San Francisco Morning Call announced a writing contest under the headline Prizes for for descriptive articles. A writer is born, not made, it read. The ability to picture scenes and incidents using words of the English language as a painter with his brush is a gift that many have in a certain degree, and a large percentage of those so blessed are unaware of their talent. The Call believes that there are hundreds of young men and young women on this coast who can use a pen and pencil to good effect in the art of word picturing, and it will give them an object point in doing so. To that end, the Call offers 3 prizes for the best descriptive stories. The first prize, $25, the second prize, $15, and the third, $10. Entries could be on any subject with a limit of 2,000 words. Entrants must be under 22 years of age. Name and address must accompany each entry, which must reach the Call by November 4th, etc., etc. On Sunday, November 12th, the Call printed the winning articles. Third prize was won by 18-year-old University of California student Beatrice Reynolds. Second prize went to 19-year-old Stanford University student Jesse Tyron. First prize, $25. More than most people's weekly salary went to a 17-year-old male born in San Francisco and living in Oakland. He was not in college. In fact, he had no formal education since leaving primary school and was working an underpaid job in a jute mill to help support his family. He was John London, later known as Jack. His entry was Story of a Typhoon off the Coast of Japan. In January 1893, when he was already an experienced sailor, Jack London had signed aboard the sealing schooner Sophia Sutherland, bound for the far Pacific Ocean. On board, he was hazed by older crew members and had to use his fists. Off the coast of Japan, the ship was caught in a typhoon and might have capsized, and Jack had to take the wheel alone. The voyage and the crew would figure in The Sea Wolf, Jack London's book of 1904, considered by many critics to be London's best work. The entries were judged by a 5-person panel, 4 call staffers and 1 outsider. London was the unanimous choice for first prize. A vivid depiction of man against nature. It anticipates Jack London's mature work. There you go. Our other history for today, 1836, Sam Houston is inaugurated as the first elected president of the Republic of Texas. It would become a state later on. California was also a republic. 1844, the Millerite Adventists wait for the appearance of Jesus. I guess they're still waiting. 1861, the first telegraph line linking west and east coasts is completed, heralding the end of the Pony Express. 1907, Ringling Brothers' Greatest Show on Earth buys Barnum and Bailey Circus, which went out of business last year. I think it was last year. 1926, J. Gordon Whitehead sucker punches magician Harry Houdini in the stomach in Montreal. He would die 9 days later on Halloween of peritonitis. 1934, in East Liverpool, Ohio, notorious bank robber Charles Pretty Boy Floyd is shot and killed by FBI agents. 1939, NBC becomes the first network to televise a pro football game. The Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Philadelphia Eagles 23-14 at Brooklyn's Ebbets Field. I didn't know Brooklyn had a football team named the Dodgers. There you go. 1942, the film Now Voyager, directed by Irving Rapper and starring Betty Davis, Paul Henreid, and Claudette Rains, premieres in New York. There's a scene from it shot in Laguna Beach. Beautiful scene. 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis. U.S. President John F. Kennedy addresses the nation on TV about Russian bases in Cuba and imposes a naval blockade of Cuba, beginning the missile crisis, the closest we have ever come to nuclear war. 1964, French philosopher and author Jean-Paul Sartre refuses the Nobel Prize, or is it Sartre, Mark? 1961, Paul McCartney denies rumors of his death. Still is, I think. Our births today. 1811, the Hungarian composer and lover of Lola Montez, Franz Liszt. 1821, Collis P. Huntington, American railroad executive, one of the big four who built the Transcontinental Railroad. Also had a mansion in on Nob Hill. Ooh, it's early, sorry. 1844, I am in Bruce, that's right. 1844, Sarah Bernhardt, French actor. 1870, Alfred Douglas, English poet, journalist, and lover of Oscar Wilde. 1903, Curly Howard, Jerome Lester Horowitz, American vaudevillian actor and comedian, member of the Three Stooges. Slightly! 1917, actor Joan Fontaine. 1920, LSD advocate Timothy Leary. 1925, artist Robert Rauschenberg, one of our favorites. 1938, I didn't know he was this old, Christopher Lloyd. Oh, he was such a great Uncle Fester, and of course, Back to the Future and Taxi. Real talent. 1942, Annette Funicello from the Mickey Mouse Club and all those wonderful beach party movies. 1942 as well, Bobby Fuller, American rock vocalist and guitarist, the Bobby Fuller Four. Their hit, I Fought the Law, and the law won. I fought the law, and the law won. 1952, actor Jeff Goldblum. 1969, Spike Jonze. Not that Spike Jonze. Real name, Adam Spiegel, American director and film producer. Where the Wild Things Are, Her, The Three Kings. Different spelling as well. Well, let's now move on to our deaths for today. Beginning in 1906 with French artist and post-impressionist painter Paul Cézanne. 1934, we talked about this earlier, Pretty Boy Floyd. 1992, Cleavon Little, the actor. You might remember him from Blazing Saddles, a movie that could not be made today. No way. And 2012, Native American activist Russell Means. We end with a couple of quotes from Jack London, who happened to witness the 1906 San Francisco earthquake and fire. Routed out of bed at 5:15, half an hour later, Mrs. London and I were in the saddle. We rode miles over the surrounding country. An hour after the shock, from a high place in the mountains, we could see at the same time the smoke of burning San Francisco and of burning Santa Rosa. Caught a train to Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa got it worse than SF. Then in the afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, we got into San Francisco and spent the whole night in the path of the flames. You bet, I saw it all. And then afterwards he would write, San Francisco is gone. Nothing remains of it but memories. But we did rebuild. So, a couple of ending notes. If you would like to leave a tip for us, they are greatly appreciated. That's what buys this equipment that we have bought in the recent months to upgrade this vlog and podcast. So information's right here. You can do a monthly subscription via Patreon or one-time donations via PayPal or Venmo. For those of you on the podcast, just email emperornortontour@gmail.com for more information. Also, we are restarting tours on Saturday, November 7 at 11 a.m. from Union Square. Groups are limited to 10. If you'd like more information about that, here's the website, emperornortontour.com. Social distancing, face masks, absolutely enforced. If you don't want to do those things, you can't take our tour. It's that simple. So, till we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy. If you do go outside though, wear a mask. Be kind to one another. Do not take unproven cures that might kill you unless recommended by a doctor, pardon me, voice went out there for a moment. Be kind to one another, please. Until we see you again, a gracious good day.